Welcome to Powerslap. What you are witnessing is possibly the dumbest sport that exists on planet Earth. It's pretty hard to believe that there's a sport solely focused around slapping someone in the head as hard as they can and they're not even allowed to flinch, move, or even breathe while it's happening. Just stand there with your hands behind your back and get clapped full force right in front of you by some massive dude. It's about the dumbest thing to be legally sanctioned in the United States of America as a sport. Like, if this were made in Japan, it wouldn't really be that surprising, but this being a major US sport is pretty random, and you'll never guess who owns this absolute catastrophe of a sport. Dana White, baby, let's go. The UFC's own CEO has jumped aboard the slap train, baby. Slap fighting absolutely erupted on the internet, and after Dana White heard about it, he wanted to turn it into a real sport.
Fair blow, down!
And so Powerslap was born.
See me! Come see me!
This shit is so cheesy. This show basically acts as a one-part reality TV series and one-part slap fighting contest. That's a sentence I don't even think should be legal in this country, and yet I am saying it for real. These grown-ass men are competing in a competition where you have to just slap one another and give each other CTE and brain damage, but they're also living together in a house. Roughly 30 testosterone-filled alpha male slap-hearted men will live in a house together and will try and coexist, and these boneheads can obviously just not get along. It is about the dumbest formula for a TV show I think I've ever heard.
But I want her to richer because she comes from a rough life. I want the best for her.
And this is coming from a dude who frequently rewatches Pimp My Ride.
So you want to be a player, but your wheels ain't flying.
The show is wildly entertaining, it has surprisingly good editing and production value, but it's based upon a concept that many see to be a fake sport. This show didn't exactly get off to a bang. Each episode gets staggeringly low views in comparison to the UFC YouTube channel. It's reportedly doing record low numbers and is getting very little viewership across any of the platforms it's shown on, and it isn't shown on a whole lot. A lot of companies are apparently having a hard time even wanting to display this on TV, not seeing it as a sport, a common issue that the UFC dealt with back in the day. Almost like poetry. To say that the start of the show was lackluster would be an absolute understatement, but what if I told you that the show was doomed before it even actually aired a single episode? A week before the show was set to premiere, Dana White, the guy who, made the show, was caught on video in a nightclub slapping his wife. Yet another thing about Powerslap that is absolutely poetic. Literally every episode on their official YouTube channel gets waves of hate. Doesn't matter what video you click on, if you scroll into the comments you will be met with waves upon waves of hate. They can't fight, that's why they're doing this. The belt was full of amazing shiny medals and I was like, whoa, sums up the IQ of these dudes perfectly, Lamau. No new slaps. I'm disappointed, Dana. It's like a slap in the face. 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 How did I know they'd start making that joke? On a side note too, why do the reporters for this dumb show look like porn stars?
And there's so many people here who realize just how much talent you have.
Can we also just talk about how over the top a lot of the promo is for this? Like, they try and talk about it like it's the most official and real sport ever. They talk about it like they're actually participating in a real contest that isn't two grown men standing in a dark room slapping one another repeatedly. There's so much drama. It's just so intense, and the way that they edit it makes it look like a full-on reality TV show, and it's like it's just grown men hitting each other. Like, there's not much more that you can extract out of this.
These guys are just full of testosterone. They're just...
The beautiful thing about this thing is, not all people you don't like.
If everything we understand about the human brain is true, then this sport should not be legal. Grown men should not be allowed to just stand right in front of one another and slap each other full blast without protective equipment or without being able to block whatsoever. Because that is the difference between this and mixed martial arts. The difference in MMA is that you're allowed to block, whereas in Powerslap you can't, making it basically a CTE speed run. Like, it's literally a testosterone contest of who can get brain damage the absolute quickest. Anyway guys, what I'm basically trying to say with this video is, Powerslap is the greatest TV show ever created. Let's go, baby.
Anybody else wants to